Does a bald man have you paint hair on his head ever?
No, but I painted really cool designs like, I don't know, like crazy geometrical designs or robot stuff.
On the head.
That can be really cool on the head. Yeah,
that's nice.
Like,
and describe the performance of the painting. The plug is out. Ah, there we go. Is that better?
Okay, that's better.
There we are.
Okay.
Well, the relaxing time we're having in the bath. And welcome to TubTalks with your host, with Florence.
I think I'm more on the shy side. I think that when I first started painting, I didn't like people to watch me because I felt like, oh, maybe I'm not doing a good job, or I didn't know if I was worthy of being watched. But then I just started to focus on the actual effect or what I was creating. And then when I started to focus on the art side of it, and what I was actually doing or producing, then I could stop thinking about what other people were thinking. I hope it's not running too much.
It's running a little bit, and one of the pieces fell off, but it's basically there.
Okay.
We can cut to a commercial.
Commercial.
And now we're back.
We're back.
All right, so tell us about it.
Okay, so this is...
Let's change the sides.
Okay, we're changing sides.
Here we go. That's your side. I'm going to your side. You go to my side. Oh, yes. Oh, and
Thank you. I appreciate it.
there they are.
Okay, good. We're good. This is a little bit masquerade style mask
I'm
on
going to
one
pull you
side.
just a bit forward. There we go.
There
That's
we go.
perfect. How's that positioning, John and Lewis?
Okay,
And
yay.
Frank?
Yay.
Is Frank? Okay.
Hey, Frank.
Thumbs up
Okay.
from the crew. Hi, crew.
All right.
Like to think,
Thank you, crew.
without a crew, there can be no you.
Okay, so this is a masquerade style mask. This is kind of one side for someone, who doesn't want the full-on mask, if you're doing like a corporate holiday party.
Because they just go halfway at those corporate holiday parties.
That's true. Except for that one guy.
Which guy was that?
I'm not going to talk about that.
So what happened? What happened? When you choose a mate for yourself, do you often think, what is the surface area here? How is this canvas?
Exactly, because the human body is a canvas, and anywhere that there is space to paint is likely to be painted. So this is basically a sponge technique, and maybe we could paint you and show them.
That's great. The frame?
There, that's lovely.
Take away?
What are we going to do?
I like this pattern. Just keep looking.
I need that sponge.
You need the sponge, great. I'm going to start and stop the camera.
Okay.
Just because if I don't do that, it turns itself off. Yes, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all bound by the limits of technology. And that's what this show today is about.
What about the crew?
How can you... Oh yes, the crew can help us.
The crew.
James, Joycelyn, Frank-Claude. Welcome back to TubTalks. I'm your host with Florence. What are the 3 places people first look when they look on a person's face?
Eyes. Lips.
Lips?
Nose.
And nose? What was the area you paint the least often of the face?
Probably the nose.
Do you think that's cultural? Oh, is this the sponge?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I need more bubbles.
Oh,
Thank you.
the tub. How was your day? In the bubble bath.
Never done a face paint in a bubble bath.
All right.
Come in towards your eye. It's
Close
good
your
to
eye.
Close.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And okay.
One thing that I've noticed, knowing Melinda and seeing her face paintings, is the high level of professionalism involved. The interesting thing about the face paint is that you know it's happening, but you don't see it. But it's about the reactions of the others. Is that the main thing, would you say? An interactive booth where people paint each other's faces?
No. Stop! No.
Now, do you find that on a different face you emphasize different features?
That's not really my focus.
I remember once I painted, it was like a cubist version of the person's face next to their face.
How did people react?
Oh, what's that? But I think people understand what you paint.
I think people generally give me more credit for what I do than I give myself. What would you paint me?
How would I paint? Do you want me to paint you?
It's
You know what I've noticed about you?
What?
You combine lots of interesting other materials besides just paint.
You can use different things. There's professional glue that you would get. It's a prosthetic glue.
Okay.
But you can also use something, if the object isn't too heavy, you can use something as simple as a... So I was directing full time.
Theater? Directing theater or?
Directing theater. Directing, producing. I started acting, every side of the theater. I was laid off in 2008, the financial crisis. And I started nannying for a wonderful family. They had a kids party and they asked me to do something fun. And so I decided to dress up as a witch, really, really scary witch. And I told a scary story and I was a legend after that because one of the children cried so much he had to be taken out of the room by his father. So for the entire school year, you know, I was the talk of the town and that's what every parent wants. And then I got a little kit and I started, you know, for the next birthday party, I face painted. And I started painting the kids' faces in the park and handing out some business cards I had a little kit. From there I started booking parties. And that's how I became a face painter.
How many times a week would you go to the park and how long were you there?
7 or 8 in the morning. A little competitive, you know, to get a good spot. And I would just sit there until it was dark. I painted as young as 6 months.
Wow.
And I've painted Grandpa's first time.
First time ever being face
First time
painted.
ever in his life getting paint on his body.
What was?
Oh.
This one is also not used, and this brown is underused, as is this other, the turd brown and the vomit brown and the vomit orange are not all very used often. I wonder why is that?
He loved it. He was Batman.
Wow, and he really was Batman then.
He really was Batman. And his grandson was painted Batman as well, so it was like a generation thing.
Why don't they make the Batman where there's more than one Batman?
I could develop a vomit design.
Is that right?
To utilize those
Kind of
paints.
coming out of the side of someone's mouth like,
I
oh.
think so.
Does that count as clothing?
And technically in New York, you can actually be topless from the top up. Painted me. Here.
Yes, and I've been painted by Melinda here. She gave this a 7. I give my own work also 7. That way it would be 77, which is doubly lucky. Hello, welcome back to TubTalks. I'm your host with Florence. Today we've reached that moment in TubTalks where
Isn't it lovely?
I would like to show you some of Melinda's casual works.
Yes, please don't get them wet. But this one, you know, took me about 2 hours, and I just...
Where did you start?
Playful. You can make an outline. You start by outlining the main shapes. And the houses, the stars. It's kind of worked in layers of paint.
Do you go color by color, dark to light?
I actually work dark to light.
This is a tree that you know.
I do know this tree.
Now you know it well.
Now I know it.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, to me it looks quite interesting. I liked it a lot.
Thank you.
Is it a man or a woman to you in there? Mentally?
It's a woman.
It's a woman.
Yeah.
To me, I was thinking that it was a man.
Oh, why?
Some of the least popular colors.
I did, the vomit.
Do you see that? Yeah,
The vomit color.
So I just wanted that to be a lesson for me, not to be too hasty in my judgment of colors. To me, it's an old man who's let his hair grow long. He's losing weight. He's cinched in his coat to just dramatize how... And he's going to visit his in-laws who live in this house at the end of the lane. Just to show them how penury and poor he's become. Is this your own, or is this is
Wow.
as well? I don't know about that.
This one is also inspired by another painting.
Okay, great.
Can you guess who it was?
This is Van Gogh?
Yes, he's my favorite.
He's great. And the choice of color is also Van Gogh?
Yes.
They say you can be mean together, but you can't be green together. But I say you can be green together, But you can't be mean together.
Actually, the color's a little bit different.
Now, you know what I think is very interesting?
Yes.
The ones that you painted that are your own
Yes.
compositions
Yes.
are on this small paper.
Interesting.
And the ones that you painted of other compositions are on this large paper,
Right.
canvas. And I think that that's a test to your humility, really.
Oh.
I wonder what you would do painting on your own on a giant paper.
Okay. That's gonna be a challenge for me. I'm gonna do it.
Next time we speak to Melinda, maybe we'll get to look at some of her newer works, hear about her latest plays, and see some of her painted faces.
Great.
This has been TubTalks with Florence. I'm your host with Florence.
Thank you, Florence. And you can check out more of my work at www.glittermenyc.com. Okay. Done?
Done.
Okay.
Very good. Great job.
Thank you.
So great.
Yay.
Yeah, no, you're a very good subject.
Cool.